You're watching Let's Chat.
There's some new products soon to be rolling out of Lynchburg, Tennessee that bears the Jack Daniel label on it. It is the new 10-year-old Tennessee whiskey. Here to talk more about that is the Jack Daniel Master Distiller. It is our friend Chris Fletcher. Chris, good morning.
Yep, how you doing?
Doing very well, sir. You have sat in that chair that the most legendary distillers in the world have occupied, including your grandfather, Mr. Frank Frog Bobo. Tell me the path you took to get into the whiskey business.
You know, a lot of people, when they find out about my grandfather and that this was his old office, and this desk actually that I'm sitting at, it's his old desk, that it was kind of a thing that I knew very early on I wanted to do. But it didn't work out that way. I grew up in Lynchburg, like most people growing up here, you know, with family members that work at the distillery. It's not an unusual thing. So I was around the distillery as a kid, but I didn't know what whiskey was when I was that young. And my granddad retired when I was about 8 years old. So, you know, I wasn't around the distillery much until I went to college and I got a summer job here. I was studying chemistry and I was a little bit unsure of what I wanted to do. And that summer job is when I started to pay attention about whiskey making and chemistry involved and science behind it. And of course, you know, I had a resource like my grandfather at home. I could ask him a million questions, and he was such an influence on me in many ways. And it really kind of got my start that way. Went and worked with the company in 2003 and have worked. I've been very fortunate, worked with a lot of great distillers and a lot of distilleries. And I'm so excited to, you know, now be back home and back now in the role as the master distiller here at Jack Daniel's.
We are glad the master distiller position is back in your family. So, and you were 8 years old when your grandfather retired.
I was. Yeah, he retired in July of 1989. So.
Thanks for making me feel really, really old again. Anyway, something that is new and not young, but new. And this is the bottle we have here on the table. This is the new 10-year-old Tennessee whiskey. Tell me about this and what separates this from the old number 7 many of us are familiar with.
Yeah, well, you know, it starts with old number 7. You know, and I tell people the DNA of this whiskey is old number 7, which, you know, our old number 7 grain bill, that, you know, 80% corn, 12% malt, 8% rye, you know, making our barrels, you know, brand new barrels every single time. You know, that's something that is held through old number 7 in our great single barrel whiskey and Gentleman Jack. But this is a little different. This is a full 10 years age stated. This is something that hasn't been done really since Jack Daniel was alive, walking around out here outside my office. And so this, as much as anything, is a tip of the cap to him and his team. And, you know, they did many different age statements back in his day. After Prohibition, you know, with the explosion of old number 7 across the country and eventually the world, just wasn't even really a thought of doing something like this, just to try to keep up with the product that we all know and love is old number 7 Tennessee whiskey. And so, you know, in my granddad's time, you know, that product was about all we did. And it was actually allocated in the U.S. until almost 1980, so nearly his whole career.
But as the master distiller who has been around this product for a lot of your life, and you have worked under previous master distillers, tell me what makes this a little cut above.
Yeah, well, you know, it gives us an opportunity to try different things with just a slightly different twist on the flavor. So this 10 years aging, it's been about 8 years in the top floors of our rick houses, our barrel houses. You know, that's where we pull our single barrel whiskeys from. And so it really started as a single barrel batch. We moved it around. We moved multiple batches around, you know, to make the best 10-year-old whiskey we could. So after about 8 years up on that top floor, we were getting a little nervous, and we said, you know, let's slow this down because it gets so hot up there in the summers. You get all this extraction from the barrel. Then those last couple of years, we moved it all the way down to the bottom floor to really kind of slow it down. So this is a really rich, robust whiskey, nice, long finish, a lot of oak, tobacco on the finish, 97 proof, and we've gotten great feedback so far.
Is it available at retail now?
It should be, yes. If you don't find it in your favorite local store, please ask for it.
We certainly will. Chris Fletcher, master distiller for the Jack Daniel Distillery. Great tour, just about an hour and a half away from where I'm standing here right now. I've taken that tour many times. And Chris, we'll see you at the barbecue in October.
That sounds great, Chip. Thanks so much.
to it, my friend. Come join us anytime. Find out more about this and the other products they make and the upcoming barbecue and how they're turning to a lot of solar energy. You can find out all of that and more at jackdaniel.com. That's jackdaniel.com.